Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we have Kelsey Frost with us today, and she's going to tell us a little about her spiritual journey and how it came to be. So without further ado, Kelsey, how you doing?
Oh, not having me.
Awesome, dude. So can you just, I guess we'll just jump right into this. Like, how did this come to be for you anyways? Like the full-time circle program on Facebook, like how did this start for you, Kelsey?
Um, well, I've been following Aaron. Uh,
Okay. Are you kidding, Kelsey? My bad. Sorry. Sound just died.
what?
Oh yeah, man. Like it's the weirdest shit. Like I got a good buddy, man, who's been having issues galore. Like he'll try to put out Zoom, not Zoom, but Facebook Live videos, and his audio's all muckled up. I really don't know what's happening, man. This is just ridiculous. Sorry, as you were though. Hopefully that won't happen again. My bad.
No, it's okay. I've been following Aaron and Victor both for about 3 years now. And in February, I started taking a course of one of their friends, Matt Schaefer. He was actually part of their full-time purpose um, this go around. And he told me about the full-time purpose weekend they were doing. And I attended, and it sounded like everything I needed to get where I want to be. And so I took the leap. Oh, I can't hear you at all. Uh-oh. I hear nothing.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Oh, there you are. Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's like I said, man. Everything's just malfunctioning.
Oh,
I don't know what's going on. Sorry about that. Um,
that's okay.
okay,
Through
so
my
3 years
tattoo.
ago. Heck yeah, man. Right?
So weird.
Love it. Yeah, shit's always just going wonky. Um, so let's go back then. 3 years prior to this, what was happening in your life that directed you in that path anyway?
Well, I re-entered my awakening, I guess you can say. I started my spiritual awakening about 20 years ago when I was 19 years old.
Dude, me too. Yeah.
Yeah. um, I was a main caretaker for my Nana, my parents and I, while she battled ALS, Lou Gehrig's
Uh,
disease.
sorry to hear, man.
Yeah, it
Is
was
she still with
tough
us
road.
or?
Oh no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
she.
Sorry to hear that.
You don't. Once you're diagnosed with that, you don't. It doesn't last very long.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not much after that usually.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Um, but towards the end, the last couple months of her life, some strange things started happening. Um, I would I worked in a restaurant, so I was out late hours at night. And this one night in particular, I was hanging out with some friends after work. It was probably about 3 o'clock in the morning,
Hmm.
and suddenly like jumped out of the chair. I was like, I gotta go. And I bolted. I didn't say goodbye to anyone. I just left. And I sped home. It took me normally takes me like 25 minutes to get home. I think I got home in 17 or 18 minutes that day or that morning. And as I was putting the key in the door, I heard her bells ringing. And so she had bells to get our attention. Um, and when I got in there, I had seen that she had slid down in her hospital bed and she couldn't breathe. It was cutting off her airways.
Wow.
So I sat her up and calmed her down, and she started writing on her notepad. And I'll never forget the words either. Uh, how did you know? I've been ringing for mom for 15 minutes. She
Hmm.
doesn't wake up, come down, but you show up. How did you know?
Goosebumps.
Yep. And
Crazy.
I got him too as I said it.
Yeah, man.
Um, and at that moment, she gave me probably the best nickname I've ever had. And she called me her midnight angel.
Oh, right on, man.
Yeah. And she said, you know, you always come just in the nick of time and right when I need you. And it was about a couple weeks after that. Um, it was Valentine's Day, actually. I didn't have anyone to be with, and I was miserable, and she was having trouble. She had just started morphine the week before that, so she was really loopy. And something just felt off. I just felt different, and like I was waiting for something. And I went upstairs, and strangely, got dressed to go to bed, but I got dressed in a nice sweater, a nice black sweater, black pants. I did my makeup before I went to bed, and I actually had hair at that time. So I put 2 braids going around my head, kind of like a halo.
Right.
And I proceeded to write in my journal, begging the universe to take her, not understanding why she was holding on for so long, and promising her that we would all be okay.
Nice.
And it just, yeah, just basically, I even just found the notebook like 2 or 3 days ago, which is really weird.
That is,
Um, but about 3 or 4 pages just begging and pleading and not understanding.
mhm.
And I think I fell asleep around 1 or so that night, and I took the ring that she had given me just a couple days earlier. That one right there.
Yeah.
I took it off and I put it on the halo of a Precious Moments statue right next to my bed, which I've also never done.
Mhm.
And a couple hours later, I think it was somewhere around 4 o'clock in the morning, my mom came in the room and said, she's almost gone if you want to say goodbye. So I went downstairs and I sat with her and I held her hand. And I was holding the hand that she didn't have feeling in for like no movement, no feeling, no nothing for the past couple months. And she had squeezed my hand really tightly. And about 2 minutes later, the nurse came in and said she was gone. So I'm assuming that she knew I was there. Yeah, and I always knew when she was awake when I got home because she had an Indiglo watch, and I would see the glowing green light from all the way at the door.
Cool. Yeah.
So when she passed, I took the watch, and I didn't realize I had forgotten what these things were called. I wear this thing every day. It doesn't have a battery because I can't wear watches because I kill batteries of all kinds.
That's like my sister does it too. Just watches can't be done, man. Yeah.
Watches, cell phones, laptops, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Any
No,
battery.
I just got interrupted, and not to destroy the flow of your story because that's like just powerful. But in terms of the watches and whatnot, is that because we have some people just too much internal charge and it just pretty much zaps everything that comes in contact with it, or like how's that
I
work?
have a few theories on it. I've heard some people say it has something to do with the alkaline and or the levels in our bodies.
Makes sense.
I think it's just we just suck it out. I don't know. Like
Could be.
I have a lot of things with energy with me. I've been obsessed with it since I was little. I could always feel it. Had no idea what it was when I was young, and then I started taking Reiki in my early 20s because I needed to put a name to what I had.
Yeah, what you felt, because it's probably just
Yeah,
like total chaos for you, right?
well, yeah, about 2 years before I started taking Reiki, I actually mended my ex-husband's broken ankle.
Nice.
We didn't find that out until about 6 years after that, when he injured his foot again, and the doctor asked if he had ever broken his ankle. And because whoever the doctor that said it he did a really good job.
Dude,
Barely
you
could.
could have helped me last year, man. I broke mine too, right? No
I
joke. Like,
apparently
it
I could
sucks.
have.
What?
He came home from work one day and he was hopping on one foot with his boot in his hand. And when I looked at it, his ankle was like twice the size its normal size.
Oh
It
yeah,
was
man.
purple already. Like,
Jeez.
and he's like, I gotta go to the emergency room. And I was like, wait, just something inside of me said, put your hands around it.
Mhm.
Put your hands around it. And so I did. I had to convince him, but I was like, I promise I won't touch you. I will not touch you.
Nice.
And so I just formed my hands around the ankle about 2 or 3 inches away from it. But when my fingertips were lined up with each other, my fingers and my thumbs, he jumped like and almost hit, like, I'm exaggerating, but
No. Like,
almost
yeah.
hit the ceiling.
Yeah.
He's like, what the was that? I was like,
Right.
I don't know. Let's
Well,
find out.
openly curse if you feel the need to. Like, that helps me flow. You know, like I'm namaste, but I'm not like, fucking nip shit in the ass just cause. But go ahead, yeah.
Right. So I sat there and I told him to picture a broken stick being put back together again and just keep picturing that over and over again. And I pictured the same thing.
Nice.
And I held hands there and I just felt the energy, and it was doing different patterns and different like surges, and really a phenomenal experience. And then I put the stick in cotton and did it for about another 10 minutes. So I think it was like 20, 25 minutes total. Now when he got home, he couldn't even touch his toes to the ground. He had weight on it. He couldn't even near the ground. By the time I was finished, he could place his foot on the ground. He couldn't put weight on it yet, but he could put it on the ground. And within about 10 to 15 minutes after, you could see the bruising starting to recede and the swelling going down. I then had him put ice and elevate it and do all the normal human things that you're supposed to do with a broken bone.
Pretty much, right?
I had a feeling it was broken because when I first put my hands around it, I felt like I was broken. Like I felt just break.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe that. But yeah, so we found out, like I said, like 6 or 7 years later, when he had a nail through his foot, they did an x-ray and the doctor wanted to comment on how well his bone was set when he broke it. And
yeah, man, right? It's marveling because I follow a lot of people on YouTube and podcasts, and Joe Dispenza sticks out in my mind when I hear stories like this because he had like a crazy injury or injuries, a magnitude of injuries from a car accident. And docs were telling him, okay, well, you're gonna have to, basically go through this therapy and then surgery and do this, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, fuck that, pretty much. I'm not doing that, right? So he merely entertained the thought, but being a doctor, he visualized how he could repair himself, and he just started getting into, doing so. He just jumped right into it, and I was like, okay, there's something here. And I listened to the audiobook, Becoming Supernatural. I don't recommend it. I'd rather have a solid read. Audiobooks just suck ass to me because it's just like that monotone. You're like, holy God, if I don't like shoot myself or stab myself in the foot because of, just this painstaking agony, I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna get through it. But I would like go to work and like, okay, so I got a maybe 10, 14-hour day. So I can juggle this whole audio book. I don't get bored stupid with it because of the monotone. That'll be a benefit. But I listened to it, and that was for a friend of mine. She recommended it, and I was like, okay, cool. And that's when I realized that, okay, everything I've done up to this point, overcoming the bipolar 1, diagnosing, almost dying from that, having my brother pass.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, just over 6 years. Opiate overdose, unfortunately.
I'll hang out with you.
Yeah, like it's too bad that I didn't. Sorry, what was that?
Sorry, do you snowboard?
No, surf now, but I used to skateboard all the time, right? A very active dude. And had I known all of these modalities and these practices, and well, I already did, I guess. I just forgot about them like most of us. But I could have utilized a lot of that for the sake of family members, myself. But I guess it's all about the divine timing, man. It wasn't ready just yet, and people have to go through their own suffering too. You know, you can interrupt it, kind of be like a signal change in the station, but sometimes it's not receptive and they don't like that. They want to go back to that familiarity and that same old boring song and dance. I'm like, oh fuck, okay, I'll give you space and let you do that, right? So that's pretty much my take on that. But yeah, sorry, man. I didn't mean to derail the conversation.
Oh no, you're good. Just flowing with conversation.
Well, that's it, right?
These are how my conversations go. They just bounce in
Yeah, man. And
a direction.
yeah, I'm not one for labels. I think that's what's creating a lot of stagnation for a lot of people because they get hung up on these ideologies and stories they tell themselves. So I'm kind of like, I consider just a free vessel of energy coming and going as it pleases, with limitations, obviously, in the meat suit vessel that we, ground ourselves with all day. But regardless, be back to your story there, Kelsey. My God, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Cool.
So
next
day I just wondered, like, did she let go because I begged the universe? Did I provoke that? Had I not written in my journal that night, would she still have gone? Like, it started just like consuming my mind with this, and I just had to find out. Like, I had to. I consider myself the cat that curiosity killed.
Yep.
Over and over again.
Nice.
So I dove in. Face first. And I bought books. I spent time in the library. This was before the internet was in.
Yeah, man. Right.
So I'm like, this was back in the olden days.
Yeah, back in our, well, for me, you said 20 years. I'm not going to like try to guesstimate your age because that's not proper, but I'm 41. I'll toss that out for everybody. And 20
I'll
years
let
back,
you guess. I'm curious. I'll let you guess.
All right, I'm going to say 35.
Thank you. 39.
Oh, close. 4 years off. Okay. So 20 years back, you said 19, didn't you? Dude, that's the same thing that happened to me at 19. But carry on with your story. I mean, people relish in my story already from all posts and shit. It's like, it's a pretty wild time for sure.
Let's see. So I just started diving in. I became obsessed with Sylvia Brown. Nice. She just became my guru of all everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, the things that resonated with me, I took with me. Other things that didn't, I researched more into, find another avenue that would explain that route. And I ended up meeting my ex-husband, the one whose ankle I played doctor with, about 4 months after she passed. And I ended up becoming a mom and going into the home life. And the spirituality stuff just kind of started to taper down. And, I was stay-at-home mom and doing the family thing and just didn't really, it just kind of stopped for a little while.
Now, did you feel a nudge at some point? Because I'm sure that's what you're going to get at naturally. Something just like, hey, man, remember me? Right?
I ended up enrolling in massage therapy school.
Nice.
The night I started, my first night of class, I started seeing auras. And I was like, whoa, I remember this. Okay. And I was full back in it again. I then started taking Reiki. I started auras around everybody. And it's been quite a roller coaster of just up and down and stopping and starting. I've stopped it. I have done things that have caused it to stop.
Yeah, me too.
All of it. If you do this and it impedes on this, then you're just cut off.
100%.
I take all of my gifts with her.
Yeah.
For years, and then I had to organically grow them, like develop them back again. And I actually just received, I was doing a meditation. I do a meditation every Monday night with my master. And 4 weeks ago, we were doing a meditation. We got in a cube and we went floating off into space, and we came to this other dimension and we met with our higher selves. And
Yes.
I sat and I talked with my higher self. And when we were getting ready to leave, she handed me a box made of light. It was a gift box. You could look just like it was a neon, like neon lights around it. But it was just all light. There was no structure to it. And she said, don't open it till you get back in your body. I said, okay. So the whole ride back in the cube, I'm sitting there with this light box in my hand, just like a little kid in a candy store, like what's in it? What is going to come out of this box? That I'm now thinking with my conscious and my subconscious mind, because I'm like, because this doesn't even exist right now, but it's happening, and I want to know what's in it.
Yeah,
So we
exactly.
get back, and normally I'm reluctant to get back into my body. Normally I'm like, do I have to?
A little
Just
more
5 more
time,
minutes.
right? Yeah, I know.
5 more
Exactly.
minutes.
I concur with that 1,000%, man. When you're out there, you don't want to come back.
No, just so there, the weightlessness, it's magical.
Yeah, it is.
This time I was like, all right, I'm getting in. I want this. And as soon as I felt like secured in, I heard, you can open it now.
Oh shit.
And my heart started beating really fast, and I opened it. And now I skipped a part of the story, but I'll just cliff note that real quick at the end. But I opened it and I had seen a world that I was introduced to 5 years prior.
Wow.
So 5 years ago, I was catapulted into another version of my awakening, or another segment of my awakening. And everything that I had ever hoped for, wished for, or imagined since I was a little kid was now my reality. I could see, hear, talk to, smell, touch, taste spirits of all kinds. Like it was you and I talking right now. And it was a dream come true. I mean, from the time I was little, I wanted to be Whoopi Goldberg from Ghost. People, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or what do you want to do when you grow up? I want to talk to dead people. That's what I would tell them. And my mom,
me too.
what?
Yeah, right. You know, like that movie was just the catalytic fucking to the moon for me to, start something, having these thoughts and ideas like, hey man, they're showing us a microdose. Can we really do this? And as a little kid, you don't have a clue. You're like, yeah, I'll try it, I guess. So you try to talk to your loved ones who passed on. And I feel like there was connection too, even at a simple age of, when was that movie released? That had to be like the late 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would have been like,
Young.
yeah, 8 or
young.
9 or something. And no, that stuck with me. It's funny that you brought that up. Cool.
Yeah. And then my favorite uncle died 3 years after that. So that I was still in my like, I want to be Goldberg phase. And
nice.
we're trying to talk to him. And yeah, for some reason I can't communicate with my own loved ones. I am now, as a profession, an intuitive psychic medium and channel. I am a Reiki practitioner, as well as spiritual coaching counselor. And I have not had an issue connecting with anyone that's ever come to me asking. And which I'm proud to say, I'm honored, and I love what I do.
Yeah, man. Right.
I am so blessed that I get to do what I do every day. When I wake up in the morning, I'm excited to start my day, because I know as soon as I get live, I'm going to be able to change people's lives.
Exactly. And sorry, Kelsey, go ahead.
Okay. No, I'll just talk.
Yeah, no, we're like, but I'm trying to like hold space for you too, and not think 10 steps ahead what I want to say, because that's not absorbing and giving you the space you need to tell your story. So my apologies for that.
All right. Yeah, I forgot where I was. See.
Yeah, me too, man. Oh, I will add into that forgetfulness. My wife called me on that the other day, and I did a podcast with a buddy a few days ago, and we brought this up, and I was like, that's us leaving the things that no longer serve us in the 3D. It's 5D now. These upgrades or downloads. It's not like really downloads, but anyways, long story short, we're getting forgetful because they're not utilized anymore. It's not necessary. And my wife's like, oh, it's because all the weed you're smoking. I'm like, no, my pot's got nothing to do with it. Anything that enhances my creativity and my openness and acceptance to everything around me. So we
Right.
can, slam that one and call that a freaking myth buster too. But yeah, dude, in the middle of a conversation, I'm like, duh. Oh, right. Ping, there it is, and bring it back. But it takes a minute, right?
Funny. See, I don't even smoke weed anymore, but a few of my friends know me as the one girl calls me Cliffhanger because I'll be in the middle of a story, no joke, and just forget completely, not have any recollection
Yeah,
of
man.
what I was just talking about.
Right. On a sober
But
note,
then you
yeah,
give
they're
it
like,
you give it like 7 seconds, 7 to 12 seconds, and it comes
nice.
right.
Same.
I've
But you
timed
know what I
it.
find too, though? Like I always say, well, it wasn't important enough, it wasn't relevant, and then it comes back like, okay, we're back online again. It's kind of like a disruption, if you will,
Like a
like
reboot.
transmission between computers or exchanging energy. And I hope,
Snap or not snapping.
yeah, basically, right. So I just kind of let it ride out and go, all right, cool, we'll get back on that train in a moment. But have you read the book Celestine Prophecy, Kelsey?
Oh, I
Right
packed
there on
my
the
book.
back of her
It's
friggin'
usually right
right.
on the back. It's right on
Nice,
my
dude.
bookshelf, but I've
Oh
been
yeah.
packed.
Like that really opened up things for me too. And gene keys, man, like I see naturopathic doctors all the time. They're like, Matt, this, that. And they're just tossing information out to me all the time. Like, oh man, I feel like a kid in a candy store just sponged out to all of that. And, it kind of got me carried away. Like my favorite song is by Kansas, Onward Son. Because,
Mm,
when I was like 19, got diagnosed fucking bipolar, all that was simply, hey, motherfuckers, I'm on shrooms. I'm enlightened. I feel great. I want to tell you everything about it. Ego got in the way, and I didn't know how to communicate and express really what was meant to be. Like, I was running around going, I'm the fucking Christ consciousness. Yes, but no. That on a collective whole, that's what you want. But that's not singled out for you to take that and run with a magic wand and say, I'm the fucking, enlightened soul and gatekeeper. I'm gonna whatever. You get locked away for that. And I did. 4.5
it is.
months, and that was torture. I got beat up by the cops, beat up by the orderly people in Calgary. I won't get into that whole story because that's just kind of like deflecting what we're trying to do here, but it's made me who I am. And I had to revisit that uh, about a month ago. Again, beat up by cops, fucking taking too many mush, get called upon, like, oh, he's manic. It's not manic, man. These labels, man, that people toss out. Like, yeah, anyway, it's been a rough ride, but a fun, joyful ride too, because I feel that if you can go back in your, like, people are always saying, stay in the present moment. And I'm cool with that. But sometimes I want to revisit the past to learn from that, because that's a massive teacher and tool for me. Things that I couldn't acquire, the skill sets that I needed to propel in the future. But if I can revisit that, maybe not so much in a physical form, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, cool. Because it's just too painful to get beat up on and like stuck with, antipsychotics. And then the great success story, though, coming from this second point of view of being renewed again, was a 3-day stint in the hospital, dude. It was literally 2 days, let me out on a weekend to come back on a Monday and go, oh, fuck, 10 minutes, I'm out. Must be doing something right. You know what I mean? It's all how
Right.
you communicate, what you need to say to people, and on a low layman level to a high degree level, man. So is what
Yeah,
it is. But
it is.
fuck knows what we were talking about before that, Kelsey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um, yeah, just the awakening, going up and down and starting and stopping, and
Yeah.
it
See
just,
what I find too, Kelsey, is I call it the vortex of being tossed out. Like if you think hard enough, like, oh fuck, how long is this good ride gonna last? It's gonna end pretty quick because you're asking permission to get off, man, right? And what I mean by that, a lot of people that aren't woke or enlightened or had a spiritual, you know, interruption or whatever you want to call it, to the average individual, it just sounds like a bunch of foolishness spoken to them. And they're like, what the fuck are they talking about? Hey. And then they start murmuring amongst themselves and like, hey man,
I
they're
know
right.
the merm.
What the fuck do they know we don't know, right? And it's like, so it's kind of us giving gifts to the audience because a lot of our viewers, prior to me adding people from the full-time circle group and other ones, just I don't want to say average Joes. I've got a lot of peer support and associates that understand me, and some are actually on the same page, but there's a lot just going, what is he talking about, man? Right? And I feel
Right.
that's our job and service to mankind is to help waking them up. You know what I mean? In a sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I seem to be running into a lot of these people these days,
Yeah.
especially since after COVID, because
Same.
COVID did one good thing for us as a civilization.
Mhm.
And what it did is it forced us all to be with ourselves. And
Yeah, it
people
did.
didn't have a choice but to go within, to take that plunge. What else are you going to do sitting in your house alone for
Not
6, 9, 12 months?
crazy, man. That's why the
You're going to meet
suicides went
yourself.
up too, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, that too. Well, that also, in my theory, is a result of what got me into what I'm doing today. Um, I realized that so many people awakened, and I did see the suicide rates going up. They're awakening prematurely for their own timing because they were forced into this situation. And so, and they don't have anyone to guide them.
Yeah.
There's no one saying, here, take my hand, let me show you.
Yeah, it's rough enough.
So I have developed a course where it's called Welcome to Your Awakening. Now what?
Yeah.
And yeah, like, okay, I'm here. Now what the
Yeah.
fuck do I do? Like, what is
Exactly,
happening?
man.
Where am I? What is happening?
Crazy.
Where do I go from?
Yeah.
I know so many people. I watched myself suffer through my awakening, in and out of psychiatric hospitals and
Brutal,
on
man.
and off of antipsychotics. I get it.
Right?
I've been there, done that.
Yeah. It's not
Wrote
fucking
half
fun,
the
right?
book. um,
Oh wait, Kelsey, I gotta ask you. Okay, so now that I kind of figured anyways, like I'm circulating around you, dancing with statements and understanding where you're coming from. So in the terms of the psychiatric medications and visits for you, were you given a label and how to walk
I
away with
was
that or
once given bipolar disorder 2,
yeah.
and then I was told that I was probably falsely or incorrectly diagnosed, and it was probably postpartum depression that went undiagnosed for 17 months. And yeah,
They're just crashing their own heads. Like we don't know.
they
Fuck it.
had me
Here,
on
take some pills and labels.
9 different pills when they released me that time.
Ooh.
Lithium and Klonopin and Wellbutrin and Seroquel and Risperdal all at the same time.
Oh
Those are
yeah.
all heavy hitters.
Oh,
Like,
geez. Yeah, I
I
almost
was a
died from that shit.
zombie.
Like
I was a zombie.
it's like taking your throat chakra and like when I see my naturopathic doctor the first time, Angela, love you. And she looked at me, she's like, oh, you're wearing blue. I said, yeah, I like blue. And I didn't really make the connection. She's like, you want to be heard? I'm like, maybe. And she's like, because I would sit there like, you know, and be half pissed off because I wasn't certain of where the fuck my physical body was taking me. Like it was still crippled and messed up. Like, I went through all kinds of shit all over again. I'm like, why the fuck do I have to keep going through this? And I just sat there like, pissed off, like, oh yeah, this is my last resort. Who is this woman? And she said, your throat chakra is closed off. I'm like, what do you mean, man? I can talk, right? But what it was all those years of suffering, the childhood traumas and those experiences and self-indulgence that I've created for my own wreckage and shit. But
Oh
the
yeah.
doctor's always stuffing the fucking pills down your throat, and it just felt like they're squeezing on your neck. And I hated telling myself that story for 20 Jesus years, man. I was captivated and imprisoned in my own mind by my own thoughts because I bought into someone else's story, his motherfucking story, not mine. So here I'm coming back on. This is the version 2.0, motherfuckers, redefining and recalibrating. That old story's gone. Get rid of it. I don't need it. And we're doing quite well, obviously.
And we have the power to do that. We have the power to reshape our entire existence to what we see it to be or what we want it to be.
Exactly.
I never realized the power of thought.
Me either, Kelsey. Like even 2 years ago, like I was getting into this pretty heavy, you know, the whole meditation, the qigong exercises, the readings that I do. Like I was, when I broke my ankle, actually, that was a bliss during COVID because I'm a dude that's got so much energy, right? ADHD, want to be bipolar bullshit. But basically, it's like, you can't hold on to me, motherfuckers, man. I'm like a crazy bull in a china shop, just swirling the fuck around, going, I don't know where to go. Just leave me the fuck alone, right? So with all this shit coming in at me at once, I was like, it's an overload. So I would take that form of energy and put it to good use, build my body, build pretty much from the inside out. And that's what I'm doing with the rental property that I have here. A couple of Americans allowed us to stay here in exchange of rent. I do construction work around the house. And I was like, well, this is a perfect place to be doing what we're doing on a bigger scale too. Like this is inner work for me, inner work for us. And we got the 2 stepkids here, my niece living here, the 6 of us. And I'm going, okay, so none of us ever thought we'd be in the same room together, let alone, well, I mean, my wife and child, obviously, but like the other step boys, they didn't seem to be really too gravitational to the idea of that. But circumstances just came to be and it tossed us together. I'm like, okay, I get it. And what I really want to do, Kelsey, is hit this on a massive scale. Like I want a healing center and I got a perfect place. Yeah, right. Perfect place picked out already, sitting up on the ocean side by the beach, man, where I do my qigong and shit. It's for sale, man. I don't know how much, but it's just sitting there, boxed in. I'm going, fucking open your doors to me already, man. Let me flow through this motherfucker and do something big and grand for people.
One more thing standing in the way. I don't know what it is. There's one more roadblock.
Right. I think it's this, man. Yeah.
Coming up on it.
Angelique told me, my naturopathic doctor said, Matt, I seen a balloon actually. I'll explain it, Kelsey. When I was going up to this location that I just dreamt of from the moment I landed foot on it. That was 10 years ago. Beautiful landscaped area. If you watch my videos, I'm quite certain I have a qigong video actually of me performing the exercise here. Anyway, 10 years ago, maybe a little longer, I came across this property when I worked for a landscaping company. And I just looked around, I was like, what? Where the fuck are we, boys? Like 2 other guys, they're like, oh, this is just one of those properties. I'm like, no, it's not just one of those properties, man. There's fucking magic here, dude. Like, I was named the Mad Hatter, right? The Matthew Hat. Diagnosed with bipolar. Cheshire Cat and fucking Mad Hatter on my back. You know, like, I mean, so yeah, exactly, right? This fucking place.
We were meant to be friends.
Yeah, dude. This landscaped area, man. There's trails everywhere. I'm like, holy fuck. This is the real version live fucking scenario of Alice in Wonderland. Like, shit. And then I was drawn to the ocean. I went right out to the point. I was like, ooh, look at this place, man. It's crystallized granite everywhere. This is going to be mine. And the homeowners at that time were looking to sell, and they did. Some Ontarians. I think the couple were quite young, and they wanted to sell. So I need to get in touch with like a real estate agent and say, how much, fucking, what can we do? Because that's my spot, and that's my go-to, Kelsey, twice a day with my wife and dogs. It's meant to be, man. She needs the fucking keys to unlock the door and get in there already. Yeah.
Wonderland.
Yeah, man.
You found Wonderland.
Right. And for viewers, man, actually, see if I can do this. Well, whatever, man. You know what I'll do? Because it's just going to interrupt our flow. But I'll send you a video if I can. I'll have to condense it because I walked around to show my naturopathic doctor. I'm like, this is my place, man. But it went on too long, right?
Right.
And I tend to do that when I go on tangents and rants. I just get too fucking excited. It happens to the best of us.
I was like this. My human body is way too small for the electric, what's inside of it. And when I get really excited, it's like nobody wants to be around me when I'm excited because I control spastic freaking energy flying.
So crazy,
like,
right?
Oh, yeah.
My wife's like, all right, man, how many coffees did you have today? I'm like, none. And she's like, why are you so excited? I'm like, it's life, baby. If you can't enjoy
Good
this,
things are happening.
right, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, fucking, I'm not gonna dim my light to serve a purpose for someone else who might not be feeling that level of energy. I can remove myself, I guess, but I want to be gravitational to people like me, man. Who's just fucking pumped, hoorah, excited to get shit done and not sit on it. Yeah.
Magnetic charge, and you just all the right people. I mean, look, I stumbled upon, I haven't checked Facebook in so long, but I'm putting up ads now for get word of my course out there. And I ended up seeing your post, a podcast. Yes.
Well, that's yes. Too. And Kelsey, I'll support you and everything that you're doing on your endeavors too. Whatever I can do. Because this, to me, it's not about me being a soul character trying to be like some fucking ascended master healing people steadily. Like, this is a collective, conscious thing that I'm trying to, wrap my head around. And
part of a clan.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need to be a know-it-all guru.
Exactly. And to be
a spirit team that each has their own specialty and do the entire.
Exactly. Right. That's like I love, like, my ringtone on my phone here is Final Fantasy VII, the original, right?
Okay.
Because it was, oh, fuck that, even go back to Nintendo days, man. Like, I was the warrior with the blonde hair and the fucking sword, like, hoorah, right? And I still kind of represent that mentality. And I'm like, well, but I'm nothing without my team of fucking people. Got my wizards, mages, fucking, thief, martial artists. Like, I need these people. And that's probably why I loved dabbling in so much of the lifestyle that kind of like concurred with that idea and that flow of the video games. Like, that's how I see life. Like, okay, light warrior, gonna make a difference in the world. And instead of using a sword, I'm gonna use my tongue. And I don't want to lash out and hurt people with it. I just want to go flick, hey, stupid. No, that's ignorant. But hey, wake the fuck up, man. But in a nice, gentle way, if I can. Being compassionate.
Love tap.
Yeah, exactly. Ping. Oh, there's Pat there again. Oh, hey, buddy. Right. That's why I do the whole emoji things with new people and shit too. And actually, I had one girl the other day saying, man, like, you're really contagious. Your energy's got me fucking flying high up here. I'm like, cool. Vibrations and frequencies. That's what we need to do with each other. I even in the hospital. Sorry, go ahead, Kelsey.
Oh no, I was just saying, I just sent you a link to my thing so you can take a look when you have time and see what I create, see what I put together.
Right on. Yeah, like, fucking, it's so weird that today you had openings, as did I, but I don't know.
And I was gonna go live like 10 minutes before you messaged me,
man.
But I procrastinated because I'm good at that
too, eh?
Yeah.
specifically with work as of late, man, like I'm stretching myself too thin and I've hired a bunch of people
Mm-hmm.
and now they don't want to do the work either. I get it. It's like that was the old image and character because I'm a physical dude doing landscaping and renovation work and trying to fit time for that, your own personal wellness, your own life, your family life. Like there's just that give and take all day. And I'm going, I'm drained, man. Well, really, what I want to do is my sole purpose, and this is it, like communication and bringing awareness to everybody and everything. I love serving people on that level of the physical part, but I leave jobs going. So I get money in my pocket, but that doesn't make me happy. I'm sorry, man. That's not like you're happy. Job looks great. You don't give a shit about paying out money, but I'm going, right. I could have used that time for something like this. To me, this exchange is so much more blissful and
That's why I
entertaining.
quit a six-figure job so I could dedicate all my time to this.
Yeah,
And I won't lie, I'm struggling right now. Like
yeah,
I put
dude.
and procrastination was a big part of it.
Hmm.
Um, I'm definitely in a spot where had I just stayed in my other job for a little bit longer, and maybe done this on the side, but then this wouldn't be here
Be
until
where
another
it is.
year from now or so.
Exactly,
And
dude.
the fact
Yeah.
that I get to devote so much time to, I go live on TikTok,
Nice.
uh,
I got to
night,
too.
and I, last night I did 6 mediumship readings,
Oh,
and I don't time them. I don't like.
go with it.
I say they're about a half an hour. Some are 30 minutes. Some are 45. Some are an hour. It all
Yeah.
depends on what's coming through.
Yeah.
And I mean, 6 in a night is it's a
Pretty
lot
heavy.
to the
Yeah.
point where I'm pretty drained when I'm done.
Yeah.
Um, but when you get to provide people with, okay, I'm gonna cry. Hold on. I'm really passionate about what I do, and I'm
Me
so
too.
grateful for it because it really is such an honor and such a privilege to be able to every single day help someone by giving them a chance that they never thought they'd have in reality. I get to give them their final goodbye. I get to give them the answers to unanswered questions. I get to give them that closure that is always left when
Yeah.
people in this world. And I get to give them or provide them through that, they gain a sense of peace within themselves. Um, and I mean, if you think about it, the only one thing in this life that is 100% certain is death.
Yeah.
Yet the one thing that humans have the biggest difficulty with.
Because
And
we've been lied to.
why is that?
We've been lied to the whole time. It's just a transformation, like a transition, people. It's not like, oh, we're
It's
fucking gonna die.
actually
You're
worse
gonna lose
for
all this. No, please take it. Fuck. You know, this is
the
what's
way
holding
I
us
look
back,
at it.
man. But
The way I look at it is when we die here, or when our physical body dies, our spirit's being born. So it's
exactly.
actually,
That's it.
it's not, it's a birth.
No, dude.
And
And
what I
sorry.
have found is that through so many readings, I have found that so many that have passed on are actually happier there because they get
Yeah.
to spend more time with their loved ones on here on earth now that they're gone than they ever did when they were here. They're like, I get to see you grow. I get to see you do this. I get to see you do this. And when you piss me off, I can tell you that but
That's awesome.
yeah, that's a constant theme with messages
Yeah.
that I get is I spend more time with you now than I ever did when I was there.
Nice.
And
That's
because
what I find too,
not,
dude.
they're not bound by the physical body anymore. They can spread, they can be in more than one place
He's
at a
bound by
time.
the urine. I got my brother stapled to me right here, right now. Now, mind you, it's just a portion. He's like, fucker, you got 90% of me. Well, it's not 90. It's like whatever
He
I
wants
get.
his he wants his other 8 toes. He keeps tripping and he's
Yeah, I probably got
like,
his dick and balls strapped to my chest or something. Like, seems like that kind of dude. Like, fuck you. You think you got it, eh? All you got is my dick and balls, fucker. I'm like, wow, guy. But that was Dan's personality. Like, he was just, man. Like, I talk about a bull in a china
Joker.
shop. Yeah, that dude was just boosh, crazy energy, right? Love him, man. But now he's everywhere, and it's cool. Like, just as you said, like, we had Dan and I were best fucking friends. Like, there's only 1 year, 1 month, 2 days between us, and
Irish.
that physical impression and essence that I got from him was like, okay, I see who the fuck you are. Cool. Well, we came from the same cloth, dude. So let's just learn to mitigate our differences and walk together as a power fucking force than to try to annihilate each other. But when it came to work, man, it was like, the struggle of the brothers, the older brother looking at the younger brother as the boss going, you can't be like that. Fuck you. I'm the first one. I got everything. And then I realized, okay, you can't be like that, Matty boy. You got to be level on the same field and keep that mentality at the front of your cortex. But I didn't do that until he passed, and it kind of sucked. My last words to him was, well, it was just a screaming match on the phone because he was into drugs. And
Right.
it just pained me to see him go through that. Right?
This is him. This.
What's that, sorry?
Your last words to him were not the screaming match.
No, that's true, man.
Then.
Thank you for that.
You've made your amends with him, and you guys are cool. That's what he just did. He just like anything.
Oh god, yeah. Like, everyone knew Dan and I were like, we were, well, even to Sally and Nadine, and I'm sure they're gonna be watching the video, they'd be like, yeah, those fuckers were the Hat Boys, man. Like, those two were inseparable. And I knew his time had to come eventually. I could see it well before it ever happened. Naturally, empath, intuitive. And I remember, like, dude, I don't want to get into it because I know. There's nothing wrong with showing emotion. I'll put that out front as a disclaimer. It just sucks to revisit that because I want to keep this high.
Hey, okay. You held space for me. I can hold space for you.
Fair enough.
He wants to make sure that you know, though, that to let that part go, because that's not the last word.
Well, that's it. I can't believe I'm joking on that. I've done so much. I can stare at myself and it's like, Dad, put the fucking thing up there, right? It sucks because I've come so far, but realizing, ooh, that stings because it feels like I could have done more, though. You know what I mean? I kind of.
We're always going to tell ourselves we could have done more.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
We don't control timing, divine timing. I mean,
I think that what came down for me was my cup was too full, but full of toxins and poisons from the medicines and crippling ankylosing spondylitis and all these bullshit labels that I just said, eventually enough is enough. And when he died, that gave me the extra gumption to go, all right, motherfuckers, now we're coming back as a force. He's gone. He's not forgotten. He's with me, motherfucker. And whoever steps in the way is going to get it. So that's how we're coming back as a, you want to say a twin flame or whatever. I'm going to make a difference in the world. And it's not to put me on a pedestal. It's just like, I'm so tired of the world shitting on people with diagnosings, indifferences. You always hear it in small towns and probably even on a big scale. Oh, that person's different. Right? That one acts a little funny or weird. Fuck off, you idiot. These people need to be authentic. They need to have a voice and they need to scream that loud because all you're doing is suppressing them even further to feel like they're not enough. They can't rise to the top with you guys smashing on them, right? So
further them.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Kelsey. I needed to shed a tear for a moment, I think. For the viewers, again, non-alcoholic. This is point 3. I gave up drinking. Anything that served me in a negative manner, I discarded. And I just know with the The path that I've chose, that I've actually cultivated now, that's just another barricade, and I don't need it. It creates an animosity within my mind and body, and then I project that into the world, and that's what gravitates to me. So I'm like, fuck that, right? That poison can stay on the shelf, but I'll take your fucking weed. Thank you. NSLC. Um, but yeah, and mushrooms. I'm gonna talk about that too. If you want to open up about it, Kelsey. I don't know what your take is on psilocybin. Poof. Right? Oh. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna tell a story then. I spoke openly about this before. What nestled me into that revisit into the hospital here about a month ago was taking one too many fucking shrooms. And I'm cool with it because I know where I can go with it and what I'm able to do with it.
Right.
But we're talking like a 15, 16 gram trip. Yeah, right. Exactly. And I have my bro on the fucking horn, and we were gonna do a podcast, Jordan Kearney and I. And I was like, all right, dude, maybe we should have some just bro time. Like I'm peeking out of my fucking head right now, and I'm not sure what's gonna come out. So it's probably best we just chill. So he played piano, I play guitar, and we try to like mitigate that shit. It didn't sound like a symphony at all. It sounded like just clanging, clanging. But we were in that zone, like, oh fuck, he microdosed, and I'm tripping. Long
Right.
story short, I know that psilocybin, active ingredients that alter the psyche, can reside in your body for quite a long time. Well, this particular drug stays in your hair follicles for up to 90 days. So that's good and gravy. But if you've already taken 15, 16 grams, I mean, you're introducing 3 to 4 grams, lightly termed microdosing per week, and smoking a gram of dope every couple hours, going through an ounce a week. It's a little much. I don't understand why somebody calls it. I can't do this. He's too out there. Bring the fuck down. But that's
Right.
exactly what took place. And now I've understand. Okay, you don't have to go that far with it, guy. Slow it
Right.
down. Ease your way into things, man. Moderation is key.
I
Microdose.
had one really trippy trip where I invented a word, and I know that if I ever hear that word, I know I've had too many.
Yeah.
It's at this point of the trip where everything is swirling,
Mm-hmm.
like you're it's being wrung out and
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
about
yeah.
to nothing.
Yeah, dude.
That scares that part right there scares the ever living shit out of me. I experienced EMT and also on shrooms.
Hmm.
And it
Shit.
just,
Now,
I get to that point and it's just like, oh no. And it feels like I'm going backwards, and
okay.
oh, it's
So
the
those are
weird.
old. Those are old memories and
And
road maps, right? That you've
that's
actually.
exactly, yes, oh my God, I can't believe you just said that.
Yeah,
So
man.
I was like in my old living room when I was 10 years old. I was watching
Yeah,
Jeopardy at
yeah, yeah.
7 years old with my dad. And
Mm-hmm.
yes,
It's
is that
fucking
what that,
weird, isn't it? Oh,
yo,
dude.
it's
Out in the fridge on those 15, 16 grams. I don't remember what it was. So I'll say 15, 16 is one or the other. But it's like the whole
right.
fucking thing and the little heads. So I remember opening the fridge at night and looking in and going, holy fuck. It brought me back to when I was a young kid. I'm going, huh. And I slammed the door shut. I'm like, fuck that vivid memory. What the fuck? And I just started shaking, man. Like your body goes through cold, hot flashes the whole time. Like um, when I know my body's been, over riddled with poisons, I'll bleed that shit out, whether it's in toxic forms of food, entertainment, people. My body would
Right.
just sweat it. I got fucking photos on my phone where it's just bleed, 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 all sweat. Like my wife gets up and she's like, what the fuck? And she's like trying to get the sweat off her. She's got to change her clothes. It's pretty bad, right?
Right.
So I'm like, okay, moderation, man. I can't be that fucking hardcore with that stuff. Like that's just balls to the walls. And that's who I've
Yeah.
been my whole life. And to change that, well, I'm learning to change it. But for what purpose? And the only thing I can ever think of is to administer a proper articulation so that the message comes out clear as a bell and not being all fucking woo all over the fucking place because people don't get, they're like, what the fuck do you want, dude? Some people say, give me what he's got, though, right?
Right.
Russell
Yeah.
Brand, people like him, he's learned to grab the reins and tie that shit down. And I'm learning
Right.
too.
I got to the point where I was microdosing every day.
Me too.
And I was fine.
Yeah.
Like, to me, I was fine. I don't know. No one else really ever called me out on it or anything, or asked what I was on, or
Yeah.
well, people ask me that when I'm stone cold sober, so
I know, right?
it doesn't matter anyway.
Well, that's
Um,
it. Right. Yeah, let's
I'm
tie
going on
back.
oh, sorry, what's that?
No, go ahead, Kelsey. It's okay.
I'm going on an exciting adventure in 3 weeks to Costa
Ayahuasca?
Rica to work with ayahuasca with Aaron
Okay.
and Victor.
Okay. I'll just give you a bit of uh,
Mhm.
cautious approach to that, only because, oh, who the fuck am I to say, man? I don't know you. Well, I do, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how you're going to handle that. All I know is that I don't have to go and do those retreats because I've done those way back when. I was fuck 15, 16 grams. I mean, I was eating bags of the shrooms when I got locked up the first time and hitting Special K, crack, coke, anything I get my dirty fingers on.
I've been down that road.
Yeah, right. Um, so
I
yeah,
was what
let
you
me
call a
retract
garbage
that.
head.
What's that?
Where you'll I was what you call a garbage head, where you'll just take anything.
Yeah, man. Anything to escape that fucking trauma and bullshit that you once endured. But
Mm.
yeah, so let me retract that and pull that back. I'm sorry. That's not for me to say. All the power to you. Obviously, you've done your work, your shadow work, dark night of the soul. So when you get there, man, I want to hear all about it. Fuck yes.
I have a feeling that the first night is going to be a purging, and I have the feeling, I mean, that it's not going to be that pleasant. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm preparing myself for, if this happens, it's okay, because it's
Nice.
what's needed. I know that I have a deep-seated pain inside of me that may not be from this lifetime,
Yeah.
that I've carried with me, and I've never been able to figure out what it is, even through all the shadow work and through,
I know.
there's still something under there, and I truly think from another life. So my
Yes.
intention going into it the first night is going to be to shed some light on this thing that just
So
doesn't.
let's go back then. How far do you think in your expertise and your personal experience on what you've gathered over the years, what do you think in terms of how much baggage we carry? Like, is there a definite number? I've heard like fucking 14 generations, man. Like that's
I mean, if
right,
you think
endless,
going
really.
back to Atlantis, and like when Atlantis fell and they migrated to now modern day Egypt, I was there.
Yeah,
I still have stuff that I'm carrying from that time.
crazy.
I
Yeah.
mean, I've had a dream. I had this dream when I was like 6 years old, and I call it my White City dream. And I get chills every time I say it.
Mm,
But in this dream, I never knew what was going on, never knew, but it was the most fear that has ever been instilled in me in this human life now that I can imagine. I have never been more afraid for my life. I have never been just fear, pure, unadulterated fear.
crazy.
And I was about 6 years old in my dream as well. And I was hiding inside of a, in old tombs, they have the big vases. I was crouched down in the bottom of one of those with my arms wrapped around my knees and my face in my knees, trying not to breathe because I was afraid they were going to hear me. Even if I just breathed, there were men searching, like trumping the hallways. I say hallways, but in the White City, they were columns and open hallways or causeways, and everything was exposed outside. And I just sat holding my breath as long as I could. And as soon as I didn't hear them anymore, like I could hear their heartbeats as they walked by me.
Crazy.
It was, and I remember waking up, and I was 6 years old. Like, how do I remember this so vividly? But I woke up and I was just drenched head to toe in sweat. I'm crying my eyes out, like ugly crying, uncontrollable, unstoppable.
Jeez.
And I went and got my brother, and him and I don't have a relationship. We never have. We never will. We're just not. We were born by blood to be family, but we're not. I mean, it's it's just. But that night, he stayed with me and calmed me down and sang me to sleep. And I went a good 31 years not knowing what anything of that was. And this past summer, I met someone who said a name to me, and the name just rang so clear in my mind and my being. And I started telling her my dream for some reason. No idea why. She's like, "You don't remember?" I'm like, no, I don't. This has been a mystery. And the funny thing is, at the end of the dream, I was me in this life, and I was at a gas station, and my parents were arrested and in jail at a gas station. Like, instead of a gas pump, it was a cell. And they were in the jail cell. So it turns out folklore says that in that dream, what I was reliving was the night that my parents were brutally murdered. My father, a high priest or high official, my mother and brother were murdered before him, and it was just me and him. And then that night they came and they killed him. We were the bloodline. He was mystical. He had healing abilities, and they thought he was too powerful being in the position he was in, and also being of this bloodline that carries these gifts, so to speak. What I've come to piece together with other people that were supposedly there, who I have met more people from my spiritual team, my soul squad, what I call them, over the past 9-10 months than I have in 38 years.
Dude, same. Like the last 2 years, like nobody knew me. I didn't know myself, really. I mean, I had a basic.
I just met myself in February.
Yeah, right. And
truly met myself.
This is why I dress different. Like, I don't mean different, but fuck that shitty term anyway. But like, I got these crazy Thailand pants on. It's comfort to me. I'll always love the idea of, like, I trained in Jeet Kune Do, okay? And Bruce Lee was my fucking idol. And to know that I trained in an art that was 5 generations gold, fuck yeah, I wanted to be that motherfucker. And not because he could destroy anything and like rip through shit. I think they kind of pumped him up a little more than they needed to. But realistically, man, he had everything that I knew I could be and wanted to be. Extract, discard information all day, whether it's through form of, you know, martial arts, meditation, any information coming from a human being, a book. That's what I wanted to do. That's who I wanted to be. I didn't know how to fucking attain that shit as a kid, but I love their style of clothes. I'm like, what the fuck are we wearing these tight jeans for? Grabbing your nuts and your ass, like that shit. You can't even bend over without going. It's just riding right up your crack. Like, that looks good with women.
Oh, I like the free flowing
yeah,
hippie
dude. Right.
I just met someone that wants to be a fashion designer. I'm like, will you design my fashion line? I would like some hippie goth, kind of like hippie witchy type.
I'd be all over it. Fucking A, dude. Now, hold on a second, because
Everything
that story is
flowing.
bomb, right? That you're telling. I gotta grab my weed. Do you smoke weed?
I used to, a lot of it, copious amounts of it, but I don't anymore. But I'll take a second hand. Hi.
Yeah, well, let me roll one up. I can't smoke in the house because, you know, it's prohibited by my own doings and my wife. But just a second here.
Sure.
One second.
Yep.
Pardon my paraphernalia. Got everything I need to twist up a good one.
I was
That's
about
a
to start
rain
doing
day.
a shameless plug for my course while you were gone.
Right? Well, you know what it's like, man. Like the fucking phone. Like before I put myself out there, you know, you get your notifications from your peers and associates. Like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever. Fuck, dude.
Mhm,
I wake up now like 30, 40 notifications on Facebook. I have about 10, 15 on Instagram,
mhm.
3 or 4 personal messages. I'm going, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? Like, so it's quite obvious that we're destined to do this kind of work. So
Yep.
just let it be and go with it, man. Just always remember to recharge yourself, eh?
I remind everyone,
Fuck yeah.
how can you be of service to anyone else when you're completely depleted? You need to
Good.
take care of you first and then give to the rest.
That's right.
Your oxygen mask on the plane first. You have to put it on yourself first before your child.
Yeah, man.
Because what are you good to that child dead?
Yeah, exactly. Right. And that's what people don't get. They say, I put my kids before me. Okay, so who's gonna fucking teach them how to fucking orchestrate life?
Right.
You're the parent. Put yourself first, motherfucker, so you can set the example for the child. They're not
I
gonna
mean,
learn from just wishy-washy bullshit. And this is why I
right.
don't like religion. Here's a book.
We're ingrained with this thing of that's selfish. Did you just say that?
What?
That's selfish?
Yeah, to say that we should put our kids first.
Yeah, that's what yes, we're ingrained with this. If we put ourselves before anything else, that's selfish and that's self-serving and self-centered. Okay, but who said those things were bad? Because if
Yeah.
we're serving ourselves,
Yeah,
it's
kinda.
so we can serve others. Because
Yep.
what good are we to them completely depleted? You can't squeeze water out of a dry sponge.
You know what? Perfect example to add to that too is like take martial arts. You can always bring shit back to martial arts and chess. I love chess. But that'd be like a guy saying, I'll use myself as an example. I've only got my yellow belt because I was a goof in, I don't like that term. I was an idiot in class. Chose the alcohol, chose the party life. 15, 16 coming up, moved out west, Ontario, different places. And I never stuck with it. I was told I could be a natural and have a black belt within a year if I stay with it, but I was just partying too much. So my point is that I'm making here, to be like me trying to conduct a martial arts course and saying, okay, everybody, listen to me. I've got limited skills, but I want your money and I can teach you a few things.
And there's
How
too
many
many
people are
people.
going to buy into that? Right. So that's the point I'm making. Like, you can't fucking give what you don't have, people. So put yourself first so that you
Yes.
can show the way, man.
It took me as long as it did to create my course because I didn't feel that I knew enough. And when I started doing TikTok and I realized how many people like just are unaware, they're awakened now, but they're just lost.
Dude.
And that's what I was earlier about the like realizing that the suicides went up and putting
pitiful, man.
piece and piece together, going, okay, so we've got this mass global awakening going on right now because of COVID.
Yep.
And it's all these people, they don't know what the fuck to do with themselves. They think they're going crazy. They think they're losing their mind, and they either kill themselves or they go to drugs, or they, whatever they can do to calm that unknown.
Mm-hmm.
So I created something where it takes you through, you know, you learn about what spiritual awakening is. Then you learn about the signs and symptoms and the phases.
Yep.
And then we go into the chakras. So you're going to learn the whole chakra system, how it was discovered, why we know about it, what it governs. And then you learn about different spiritual practices. I also brought in 5 other TikTok creators, pretty big names, some of them. And it's a 6-week course. So I brought in 5 other people. So the first week we're going to do 2-hour Zoom call each week.
Yep.
And first week, I'm going to tell my, excuse me, my spiritual awakening journey. And I'm going to introduce a spiritual practice that got me through, that was really a vital piece of my awakening. And then the following week, one of my speakers is going to come on and do the same thing. And then each week, the new speaker that these people already watch on TikTok.
Yeah, man.
And that they're going to get to hear their intimate, personal, spiritual journey and how they've been able to become successful through it and overcome the adversity and the hurdles and all of that.
Yep.
And then they're going to learn about the psychic gifts and abilities, the clairsenses, and actually how to identify their predominant one, because I believe everyone has them. It's just true. Whether we tap into them and decide to develop them or not. And do you have somebody that can guide you through that? And
yeah, man. Well, you and I, we both can concur on this notion then that 20 years ago, we wished to fuck we had somebody guiding us. So we didn't have to go through all that. But
that's what I say in my on my webpage. I'm like, you know, what I did here is put together everything that I've compiled over a undying curiosity, need to know of what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, dude.
And I put it all together
on your own, pretty much, right?
What's that?
On your own, pretty much. I mean, you had permission slips of other people helping you along, but like, you've done the work, Chickie, and like, this is what people wouldn't understand. Sorry, go ahead.
It was before all the social media.
Yeah.
That you and I went. So
self-navigating, man.
Had to just find it, and
how we relied on our intuition a little more and use that as a guiding compass, we could have fared out a little easier. But I like that.
Trusted ourselves, but we didn't because we were told that we're no good. And
exactly. Told that from a little young age. Love you, Ma, but our fucking storylines never crossed, right? And then.
Oh, you either?
No,
I love my mother to death.
From a distance.
I love her. But I don't think we're the same species. I don't think we're from the same planet. I don't think.
As you spoke of like your brother and yourself, you're not really connected well because
my brother is my mother's son. My brother is my mother's son, and I am my father's daughter, and that is why they were divorced by the time I was 2. And that is why my mother and I don't see eye to eye on anything.
Yeah, but also on that point,
I'll add to is
they're, you already know it, man. They're your earthling family members, but they're not like we're all one. I get that, but like fucking, they're just people here in this galactic fucking, planet that's orbiting the fuck out of.
Yeah, I feel like this is the first time I've met. I feel like this is the first time I've met my mom and my brother and my dad. I feel like I've known my father longer, and then people I've met along the way, I've known them for far longer. So
I see too there, Kelsey, that you and I are going to be, interchanging energies in so many different manners here, well beyond this platform and shit. That's so dope. Like you're my first one in the group, right?
Yeah.
yeah, I want to thank you for that and taking the time out and being so available. Like, drop of a hat. I'm like, can you come on now? This person isn't here, or my situation got fucked up, my logbook. So, and you, pow, you're right there, man.
What's meant to be will be.
It is. And
They are serendipitously structured synchronicities delivered daily through haphazard happenings.
thank you. Right?
That's
Amen
fine.
to that, man. All right, rest my case. I'm fucking shutting off. See you guys. And then just walk out. Like, realistically, it doesn't get any sweeter than that. And my favorite saying to everybody is, don't trust me, motherfuckers. Trust the process.
Yeah.
You know,
Yourself.
yeah, people don't get it that all we are is like soundboards for cosmos, right? You know, you take that the way you want. I don't give a shit. When I have something to say and somebody asks me something, I no longer button my mouth or tiptoe around it. I'm like, there it is. It's puked all over.
Yes.
You want to hear that, or you want to sugarcoat that?
Word
for a minute
vomit.
first?
Yes.
Yeah, dude, right. A lot of
My
people
throat
don't like that.
chakra, my worst. Like it is my. I thought it would be my heart because that poor
Throat
thing's
chakra.
pulverized. But my throat chakra
Yeah, man.
is. And then whenever I'm reading somebody or doing a mediumship or an oracle or Reiki, whatever I'm doing, and
Yeah.
they have issues with their throat, oh, mine closes up and it's all like,
Oh yeah, man. Oh, it
because
sucks, doesn't it?
I was raised, children are speak when spoken to,
Me
and
too,
children
man.
should be seen and not heard.
Yeah, dude. Okay, I don't know if it's a whole fucking 80s, 90s things for us, or just like
I think it was.
selected few, or like it was kind of weird. We were like that too. Like, and I understand. I gotta say this about my mom. I love my mom to death. She knows that. We don't see
As
eye to eye on pretty much anything, and that's cool. Love you from a large space over there. But yeah, right. Just keep that to the next galaxy, motherfucker. I'm just teasing.
exactly. You stay in your galaxy, I'll stay in
Yeah,
mine.
right. Like,
Good.
I'm on a
ya.
path that no longer serves her, or she's not known to, or I guess she is, but maybe she doesn't want to tap into her own shit. And that's what
That's what
happens,
it is.
right? That's what happens with
That's
a lot of us.
actually
Yeah. Fear-based mentalities create stagnations, blockages, barricades, walls, however you want to term the shitty coined phrase here. But what I'm trying to say to people is just be your authentic self. Don't take no for an answer. Don't let people validate and confirm your existence and what your purpose is. It's up to you, people. Shine, motherfuckers, and don't let people take that
that.
from you. Right? And read
Amen.
Celestine prophecies.
Yes.
Realistically, if you want to have a clue, man, about what we're
And
talking
watch
about.
the movie too. Oh God.
Yeah.
And watch the movie too, but
I
read the book
try.
for sure.
I try, Kelsey, and
Yeah.
I would
It
recommend a
can't
book.
touch the book.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, it
I'd
can't
recommend
touch
a book
the book.
over that. Any
Oh, I
day, man.
recommend the book too over it. I mean, watch the movie afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. So you can have your
After-
own interpretation.
But no,
All
read the
about
book
ready.
first.
Yeah, when you read a book, you create a story that only you get to perceive, right?
I'm in that world when I'm reading
Me
a book.
too, man. I love it, dude. Fucking sweet. Now, what time we got here, Kelsey? Like, shit, you and I could talk all fucking day. I know it. 12:40. And I'm okay with that, right?
I'm good.
This is probably why I should get into TikTok too, because I want to give little snippets, pieces of information. People,
Yep.
let's face it, man. Society today, unless you're drawn to this, you look at it and you're like, fucking an hour and a half later, bitch, I don't have time for that shit, right? And they're like, fuck, next. It's like, oh,
And
wow,
here
I forgot.
I feel like I've learned and I've shared and
Yeah.
it wasn't a wasted hour and a half or
Oh, God,
no. Whereas other people may look at it like you guys just sat there bullshitting the whole time. No, but yeah, but
yeah, but
meaningful, educational, and
yeah, and at the same time, man, we're healing each other. Like, I shed tears for a moment. You started to.
I started.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with that. So it's a matter of exchanging energy and not taking from each other. We're just giving back and forth readily. It's kind of like tea, if you will. That was a new thing brought up to the kids in schools and shit. Like, don't force tea on anybody. That represents your sexual organs. You're not supposed to go out there and mount somebody like a fucking dog, right? So like, if they don't want tea, accept that shit. And that's kind of what we're doing too. Like, we can do this all day, but we're out in public. We're like, would you like a cup of tea, sir? Some crumpets type deal, right? And
Yeah,
they say, fuck no, I don't oblige to that. You just got to let it be. But
right.
I'm not going
And
to
that's
stop doing what I'm doing because society thinks that we should, right?
exactly.
That's
We
half
did
the
that
battle.
far too long, and look where it's gotten us.
Yeah,
I
man.
have come so much further in the past year than
Same.
I have in 38. I
Right.
mean, I have grown exponentially over these past few, like,
I think about that daily too, eh? It's fuck.
yeah,
Last couple of years going, what?
like
So we
how
should
many,
say, huh?
I feel like I wasted so many years that I could have been
Uh,
here doing
yes
this,
and no. Yeah.
but so
I get that rational
trying
thought too. But yeah, see, well, that's it too. Like I've always said, coming up into this now, it's like, fuck me, man. I got gold nuggets for people, and I'm holding that shit into me tightly. And I had Angela say, Matt, you need your story out there. Trust me and trust the universe. Cosmos got your back. I'm like, you tell me I'm gonna riddle out there like an idiot on a tangent, man, and people are gonna bite on that? No, come on, my shit story. I'm embarrassed. I'm loathsome. I'm loathsome. I'm guilty.
my
I'm ashamed, right? Because of the stigmatic mindset that you've been taught. Those
my
conditioning and
fear
programming
was my
fucking apps in our brains. We don't need them anymore. Get rid of them, delete them, uninstall them, motherfuckers. That's I gotta say. I say it a lot, and this isn't to get angry at people. It's just like I'm trying to wake you up, man. Sometimes I get violent, want to shake the fucking tree, right?
yes,
Let
you
the
want to
apples
shake
fall
them.
out. But the
Like
timing is sorry, what's that?
my weirdness used to be my prison cell. It's what kept
Same.
me shelled and quiet and not being myself.
Yeah,
And I
man.
wear it like a badge of honor now.
Fucking
It
love
says
that, dude.
so weird.
Yeah, man. I gotta Nick, bud, I love you. You might be watching this. She's got Mad Hatter tatted on my chest. And it's kind of a funny story. In the making of this tattoo, well, actually, it's exposed on Instagram. I think you can see that there, maybe some other shit. But I was like so thrilled that he was doing this. It's supposed to be Elvish, an Elvish coded language. I'm like, yeah, motherfuckers, only you and I are going to know this. And maybe when I tell someone else or some shit, or when someone asks. And I'm like, all right, give me a mirror, man. He's like, no, 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 you gotta wait. I'm like, oh, dude, this fucking pain's just like you're ripping across my chest. It feels like I'm gonna die in your fucking chair in your backyard in a goddamn shack. What the fuck are we doing? Give me a mirror. He's like, no, 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 I'm almost there. I'm like, okay, cool. Look down. I'm like, oh my god, the A's are fucking U, so it looks like Muff Huffer. The Muff Huffer, not the Mad Hatter. What the fuck are you doing to me, Bob? We've been buds since we were little kids. And this is how you're gonna fucking repay me, man? So like, all right, Nick, bud. I said, you gotta fix that. He's like, and he's a big dude, lots of tats, and he's just like a fucking brute. He's like, oh, you walk into my shop, I'll charge you $50. I'm like, we're not in a shop, bud. We're in your backyard in your fucking camp shed. Like, come on, man. Fix this. So he did, but it still looks like ridiculous. And I used to be embarrassed about it. And now I walk around like, all of the fucks, man. Because the physical form isn't the representation of me. To relate to that, and I've said it before, if I drive a black car, I'm not gonna fucking tie myself to that and say, I'm the black car. It's like
But
your
some people
skin,
do.
right?
They
Oh,
get
dude,
so
this is the problem. Narrow-minded, veils on all day, and they're like, oh, that's like, okay, I'll put these the fuck on. All of a sudden I'm somebody else because I got shades on. No, you're still the same individual, same source of energy, just encapsulated in a fucking meat suit that's colored brown, or those are shades anyway. They're not even colors, man.
yeah,
But yeah, we get caught up in that, right? I'll
yeah.
touch base on that before we roll here, Kelsey.
Condition.
Just the discrimination, the bigotry, the mindset that keeps us solely locked into ourselves and divided, segregation, divide and conquer all day long. Yeah, hit it, man. I know you want to. Go ahead. Toss in there.
So I've been writing a book,
Oh, have you?
and
Shit,
I
man.
have and I actually did a TikTok with a verse from my book about race. I have yeah, it's
No, go ahead, man. Please.
Pretty intense. So I posted the first video and it was saying, I have a question for you. Now, when I ask this question, I don't want you to think about it. No, no Googling it, and no, don't look in the encyclopedia. I'm like, yeah, I know. Encyclo what?
Yeah, really. What the fuck
So
is
I'm
that
like,
anymore?
exactly. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just want you to comment the first number that pops into your head after I ask this question. Do not think about it. I said, how many races are there on Earth? And I got so many answers,
Oh man.
so many numbers. And come on. When I've asked people this question over the past 5 years since I'd written this, I could maybe count on both hands how many people said one. And it was really discouraging. So I was pleased to see that out of, I think there's out, or I don't know, maybe 2,000 people that saw it, 2,000 views. And it was a decent amount said one. So I was pleased, very happy to see that in fact is spreading somewhere. And it is going, because the ratio, what I said, or to what it was then and to how many people said it now, I was thoroughly pleased with the results. And then in my second video, to follow it up, I said, okay, so I'm going to read an excerpt from my book that I've been writing to describe my take, my answer on the.
Turn this up. I can hear you, but it's like my system's being a
sorry.
dick. Well, it's not you, honey. It's this outdated system. I can't even get Windows 11. Like 7 years old. Like really? Gaming system, but anyway.
My computer is like, I've had it for 1.5 years, and it's the most terrible thing on earth.
Yeah, they're outdated every,
can't even call it a
3 to 4 months now.
All right, so this was the answer to that question. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so I'm going to move my computer closer so you can hear. Hopefully you can hear it. Yeah. If you can't, let me know and I'll just cliff note.
Oh, there's an actual audio answer to that.
Yes.
Fuck me. Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Let me get volume. Press my answer to this question from my previous video. Here goes. See, the concept of different races as we know it is in fact false. What if I were to tell you that I'm going to start it.
Yeah, sorry. I got the speaker right in my face now.
That's okay. Stop scrolling. That was the I have a question. And then I'm going to share an excerpt from the book that I'm writing to express my answer to this question from my previous video. Here goes. When will the masses see that the concept of different races as we know it is in fact false? What if I were to tell you that we were all of but one race, the human race? See, the ones in charge know that they can control us through our difference, through hatred and war based on religion and race, fueled by money and lies, because they know that united, we are a force to be reckoned with.
Oh,
powerful. Yes. Imagine a world with no categories, no labels. What a beautiful world that would be.
Utopia.
Experience that here on Earth in this lifetime? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and follow for more.
Shit. Dude, sure. That was you saying that?
Yep. I wrote, that's part of my book.
Oh, see, I was told by a good buddy of mine, Seth, I'm going to blast you for a minute. Fucking solid dude. Seth Brubaker. Holy fuck, he's just a sweetheart, man. Gentle old soul. When I first started doing it, I'm going to keep the speaker here because this seems to be the one. What the fuck do we got wired shit for, man? It's a Bluetooth, infrastructure. What are we doing with wires? I guess because they're more relied on and they're supposed to be more reliable.
I
Yeah,
have
Seth.
viruses in place.
Oh, it's crazy, right? So Seth and I and Jordan Carney and Sabina Rose Gold, we all came together with the self help group, right? And it was thanks to them, man. They almost like helped take this from the ground and just throw it in people's faces where I wasn't strong enough to do it as a single soul. So there's what, fucking four of us, man? And everything comes in fours, man. 4 seasons, 4 quarters to make a whole, blah, blah, blah. Four is my number, man. I love it. I see 444 all the fucking time. And it's
Mine's great.
representation. Yeah, right. That you're on the right path, you're doing the right things. And sometimes you just need a nudge, like stagnancy, procrastination. We all do it. It's called the human fucking trait.
The
Sucks
name of
dick.
my book, Procrastination, is the name of my book.
Yeah, right, dude. I'm gonna order that. Well, yeah, that's the thing, man. Like, it was so beautifully articulated in that answer. Like, I was listening intently and just going, yes, fuck, yes, because this is what I'm doing all day long. I can envision a utopia where there's no labels, there's none of this bullshit where people are fighting over money, taking resources, fighting fucking wars that aren't theirs to
But you
fight.
know
Like,
how we
come
can get
on,
there?
man.
You know
What's
how
that?
we can get there? It's
We
so
all think the
easy.
same.
All we have to do is open up, wake up.
That's it.
If everyone were their authentic selves
Yeah, man.
and they didn't have to hide and they didn't have to
Mhm.
lie and they didn't have to be
Suppress,
something that they're not just to
fit in,
make it
to be
society.
accepted.
Yeah, if we could all, if meditation was taught from the time you could
Oh,
comprehend a conscious thought,
yep.
that is the one thing I think that could change the entire world.
Yeah, man.
Teach every kid when they start like comprehending things to where they could understand, sit down, close your eyes, and breathe.
Yeah.
Breathe in, breathe out. As soon as they can understand how to do that, that's when they should be
Oh,
starting to.
dude, I've got a granddaughter, who will tell mommy and daddy
You
and
have
other
a
people that,
granddaughter?
oh, yeah, I know. All right. It's crazy. But she'll tell people, smell the flowers and blow out the candle. Like, basically, take that time in to absorb that beauty. Remember who the fuck you are, where you are, and what's important to you. And then gently blow that flame that was created as a fuck, you know what I mean? And I'm like, whoo, shit, this kid is just going to
I
school.
credit her in the credits. Can I use that in one of my meditations?
Of course, right? Like, that's powerful. And it's so cute to hear a little girl say it. You're like, aw, right? You know, you just melt. I'm like, no way. But they're teaching it across the board in schools now and starting to incorporate that. They should have done it a long time ago. But just like us, we weren't ready to shine when we needed to be the light warriors that we could have been back then. We had to go through those extra phases,
World wasn't ready
stages
for
to
it.
become who we are, right?
The world
Suffering.
for us
Yeah, man.
yet.
Well, that's it. You grow from your suffering. And
Can't grow without pain.
no, dude, we know that even on a physical anatomy level, like build your muscles, they got to tear down and get sore. You're like, ouch, fucking injuries. Oh, look at me now. Well, that's what you're doing with your brain and consciousness too, man. You know, the
Oh, I
four
get a
parts
wrinkle
of
in my
you.
brain every day, at least once.
Yeah, same. And that's how I see drugs. Like, I don't even like the word drugs. Drugs sound
Wait,
too taboo. Like, it takes away from you, but it doesn't. It actually enhances you. All right, motherfuckers, I'm going to put this out for you quickly. Mushrooms, okay? Mario and Luigi and those dumb fucks didn't take mushrooms just to grow in a physical manner. Their brains expanded. They're able to do more. You could obviously entertain it and see it. Proof is in the pudding, pudding pops, right? So I'm not
every
saying go.
drug gives me a gift. I
Yeah,
have
right.
gotten even the badder ones.
Yeah,
I have gotten something from each of them.
exactly.
And some of them, it was a lesson learned a hard way,
Yep.
but it was still a gift in its own way.
And on that notion, let's add in the ayahuasca effects. Now, see,
Yeah.
people think they're going to go down. I'm not saying you, but a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to go get fucking high and have a good time and be a fucking tree hugging hippie. No, sorry, bitch, that's not what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That plant medicine is there to teach you things that, oh my
She's
fuck, like
already been working with me. She's been working with me since February
yeah,
when I found out
right.
I was accepted.
Yeah, you're not
And
gonna go in there and have some retreat and be fucking, wine and dine all that. She's gonna wreck you, man, and bring you to where you need to be who you need to be, and show up the way you need to in the world.
I'm
And
prepared to be pulverized the first
oh,
night.
you're shitting yourself, you're puking, you're crying, like you're thinking you're fucking losing your mind. I
Yeah.
haven't experienced the ayahuasca, but I've done so on other drugs, and it's the same thing. It's like I'll
It's a
compare those
purge,
drugs. Sorry, what's
purge,
that?
the purge.
Yeah, right.
Everything that's coming out of your body during that time is emotional and
Everything that's
physical
suppressed.
purging. Yeah, you're
Hey,
purging that energy that's been
yeah,
locked away for so long.
yeah, man.
And it could be
Oh,
lifetime. So
let me share something with you, Kelsey. I'll send a link down below for everyone too. Is the EMDR that I speak about? I do that on the daily. I haven't today. I usually sit on my little shitter throne. I do my Troy Casey breath work. Oh, EMDR, it's eye movement reprocessing desensitization. So it takes the locked memories that you have that is encased in our network of synapses and shit, and it reverts those to create new ones for you. I explained it to a lady I was helping the other day, and if you will, imagine the top of your head being like a snow-covered mountain, fresh snow there. So new tracks can be, brought on. They're not the old tracks in the same pattern. Like, okay, same bumpy, shitty road. Then we got to go down this fucking hill, 20 miles an hour, going right. Fuck, why didn't I stop myself? It's almost like a video game, dude. Right? You're doing the same
is
level
that
over
like
and over and over, and you can't fucking beat it because you haven't learned the lessons yet. And
the rapid eye uh
yeah,
traumatic therapy RTT or R
there's another one called DNSR, I think. But it's the
okay.
same principle, and any
Also
iota can fucking
RTT,
crack.
rapid eye trauma trauma therapy or
Basically,
something
right?
like that.
And let's put everyone on blast for a minute. All you people, every one of us is traumatized. I don't give a fuck who you think you are, what walk you came from.
You
Don't
can
matter
tell
how much
me.
money you got in the bank. Doesn't matter what status you are now or work. Fuck all that. Drop that bullshit scheme. That's just a fucking joke. Smoke and mirrors, bitches. We're all traumatized because we all have baggage from past lives. You're not walking into this fucking life unscathed. So this is what I say to those snub people, man. And I say this because all we're doing is really arguing with ourselves. We snub ourselves, snub people in a sense without even being fully aware of it. Stop that
Mhm.
shit. That's what I'm saying. We're all equal. Doesn't matter if you got a better job than I, motherfucker. You bleed, you shit, you sleep, you fuck. We have the same orchestra of habits and patterns. So push that all aside for a minute. Put down your armor. Don't let that tongue be a lasher, a weapon. Utilize it so that you can just embrace each other, embrace yourselves first. Remember who you were to remember your brothers and sisters. That easy,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And eventually we're going to get there, Kelsey.
I believe it. And even if we're just the ones that are supposed to lay the foundation for it, it takes a strong foundation. Like
Yeah.
you're wearing red today.
There we
The
are.
root
And what's the
chakra,
shirt say? Be love,
be
people.
love.
Doesn't get any
The
better than
throat
that.
chakra, or the root chakra, I mean.
Yeah.
Solid foundation. Every thriving anything needs a solid foundation.
Yeah,
So
without
even if
it.
that's what we are, we're the foundation builders, then so be it.
Yeah,
At
I'm okay
least
with that.
we're making that stride.
Yeah.
We're laying that foundation. The ones coming after us, oh, I'm getting chills like head to toe
Oh,
right
fuck
now.
yeah, it's nuts, right, man?
To my cheeks.
Oh, it's
Um,
insane.
that yeah, and they just come after us and build on top of that and build on
Yep.
top of that. Maybe one day where kids are coming out of the womb meditating and
Oh,
they're
dude,
in
can you
that
imagine?
utopia.
Just imagine. Yeah. Oh, speaking of, I've got to introduce you, Kelsey, to my good fucking soul brother, Matt Broster. Holy fuck, dude. Like, he's got a book that he just wrote and put out there called Imagine. and he has little snippets that he'll entertain people with. He'll dance.
I already love the name.
Oh, dude, he's on my Facebook there if you want to add him. Just a gentle soul, man. Like fuck. I own a lot, or sorry, I owe a lot to that man too. So we got Jordan Kearney, uh, Sabina Rose Gold, Seth
Her
Brubaker.
name sounds familiar.
Sabina Rose Gold.
I think I know her.
Yeah, she was on a group. Fuck, what group did we all fall under, man? It's probably that bipolar group, dude. Where people are, you can't change this. This is a fucking life, you know, commitment disease, and you got to medicate it, and blah blah blah. And we were like, "Fuck you, idiots, man!" But no, seriously, like we were just tired of hearing the rampant naysayers and the negative chatter in the back of our heads. Like, man, shut up. You want to hear a proper voice and a proper success story? There we go. I'll puke it in your face. And a lot of people are like, you couldn't have had this diagnosis. No way. Proof is in the pudding.
Yep.
But yeah, those people and Angelie and all the ones from the naturopathic Harmony Health Center in the Bridgewater location in Scotia, for me, set the course of action for me to be where I am today. And if it wasn't for the support of all those networking people, I'd still be suffering in my own head.
Yeah. No, I know. And I've had a few people. Oh, that's funny. He's right there on top.
See? What a beautiful man that dude is. Fuck. Like we openly tell each other we love each other. It's not to be gay. And I'm gonna hit that right quick too, because there's a lot of misconception on this. People think,
Please
oh,
do.
yeah, right. So
Smack that.
when I spent time in the hospital recently, I seen something and I was just like, oh fuck. There's a plastering on the wall. Like this place I visited 20 years ago and it was a nightmare. It reminded me of prison, which I've been in. That institution sucks ass too. There's a lot of work to be done, man. But anyway, in this particular hospital that I had to revisit, everything was Zen-like, you know, on the boards, on the walls, just memes all the time. Just remember who we are, what we're here to do, and just to give yourself that compassionate love that we don't give ourselves. Because in a age today, we all have to be hoorah, hard as fuck. You know, I came up that way, a brute motherfucker. My brother was that way. You're working class people. You can't show emotion because that's a sign of weakness. Don't cry. What the fuck do you get? My mom used to say it over my stepdad. You want something to cry? I'll give you something. And I'm like, okay. I'm not gonna cry anymore. I'm done. Right? It's pretty bad when you took a beating from your parents with a leather belt and you wouldn't break a tear or whine out until you wanted to stop that shit. Because you just got adapted to it, right? But we don't have to do that anymore. You know, that old saying, spare the child or spare the rod and spoil the child. Fuck off. Right? The best thing you could do, man, is take your son, your daughter, and hold their hands and say, I've got you. Give them the space they need, man, to express themselves openly without discrimination. Right?
And explain to them why they're not supposed to do things, like things that are bad. Explain why, not just because I said so.
Yeah, dude.
I vowed when I had my child is 18 now.
Wow, nice.
I had my child, I vowed that I would do my very best to not use the term because I said so when they ask anything, why I can't do that or why we do this, or I think I've maybe said it twice. I can count on one hand how many times I said it to them in 18 years. So that's one thing that I stuck to. I stuck to, and
that's pretty empowering.
Proud of myself for it because
I'm proud of you too.
I used to hate it. Like, why? What? That's
just
my favorite word, right? Was why.
That's it. Yeah.
And that's how I ended up being the cat that curiosity killed over and over and over again.
Well, that's it. You know, we were told to always question things, but as you get older, you're told not to. It's just the grain that you had to be fed, and you're like, don't go against the grain. You'll get fired.
Yeah.
You won't be a part of this organization. Or you get locked up. You can't think outside the box.
I want out of this organization. Let me out.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. John Lennon had it right. fucking
yeah.
all the ascended masters that came before us, they all had it right, man. We were just like, yeah, whatever. Let's just go back to the 9 to 5 and do as we're told. Because we don't want to
John
look like
Lennon,
awkward
Martin
birds.
Luther King.
Yeah, right. This is it, man. So like fuck, it's been a blast, Kelsey, right?
Has been. I've had a
You know,
great time.
shit, yeah. This was to me a
So
very
relieving
what's that sort?
when you so relieving when you can have intelligent conversation
Right.
that stimulates the mind, and it's not just talking about
The
mundane
news.
shit that
Yeah.
I shut
Weather.
my TV off 5 years ago
Dude.
when my
Best
awakening
thing.
kicked back in and I got all my gifts. I shut my TV off. I haven't turned it back on since, and it's the
Well, you
greatest
know what? You know that, like, yes, I consider myself.
brainwasher.
Well, yeah, it is. Like, oh, it's just fucked. We can go down that slippery slope for a bunch too, but maybe on a
Oh
next,
yeah, I can.
right? Because that's
We're
a
gonna have
whole
to do
different
more of
segment, man.
these.
But I'll just throw it quickly that when you gain the skills that you need, and you can say that I don't need validation, confirmation from any other source anymore, you got your shit locked in. But staying humble and realizing that the best approach to this is to always remain the student, the teacher, man. I don't like that title because it feels like that's a completion and that's it. Well, no, our teachers in the school systems, man, are still getting upgrades all the time.
We
So
can be guides and way
yeah,
showers
thank you. Right.
and path forgers or whatever. I'm there's a term, but I can't think of it right now.
Yeah. Basically,
But we are not all knowing gurus, and I will
no,
never to be anything like that. I
no,
am so
I don't ever
grateful.
stress to be that, because you know what that does? Creates dictatorship. And we got plenty of fucking
Exactly,
dictators
and then you end
already,
up with going through now.
right?
Yeah,
So this
like
is all about one love, unity, raising
an open
vibrations and frequencies together to
share
have a better outcome, right?
to share what we've accumulated over our lives through experience and divine intervention.
Yeah.
Spread it around.
Heck yes. All right. Well, without
On the
further ado,
light.
people. Sorry, was that Kelsey?
Sorry, turn on
No, I
the
was just
lights.
gonna say, man, my audio is really sucking ass. I gotta say that before kickoff. Like, I've got to get that shit in order, upgrade or
I was
something.
saying
Man.
all we want to do is turn the lights on for some people. Just flip
That's
the
it.
lights. That's all
Be the
we're
beacon of
doing.
light.
Yep.
Actually, that's what I'm saying. Like, we've got people, gravitating to us like crazy, and it's cool. I love it. I could do this 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, no fucking problem.
All
I don't
day,
want to
every
try myself. Yeah, awesome.
day.
Well, again, thank you very much, Kelsey, for coming on my show, and we're gonna
For
be
having.
flying off on all kinds of avenues from here, I think, right?
I hope so.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate your time, and what a beautiful discussion between us in the last hour and a half or so, man. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I
been bliss.
enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much again,
Have it.
Kelsey. You take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
All
All
right.
right. All the
Sounds good.
best.